Hi there and welcome to Cameron James USA. My name is Dominic James Murray, CEO, IFA and founder here at Cameron James. And obviously I'm going to be chatting to you today about international SIPPs for US residents. Doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to read everything below, but it should give you a quick introduction to SIPPs for US residents. So, to start off with, the basic thing that people ask is, what is the difference between a SIPP and an international SIPP? Okay, so a SIPP and an international SIPP are actually basically exactly the same thing. The only difference is that a SIPP is designed for UK residents, whilst an international SIPP is specifically designed to accept residents from non-UK jurisdictions. So for example, Europe and obviously America is one of our biggest markets as well. So in terms of the regulation, they're exactly the same thing. It's an FCA regulated SIPP. The term international SIPP, there's no part of the FCA legislation that says, oh, it's an international SIPP. It's just the branding and marketing name given to a SIPP, which allows people to use a non-UK address. The reason for this is simple. In the United Kingdom, the majority of SIPP providers, 99% of their target market is sitting on their doorstep, London, Manchester, etc. They don't need to open their doors to international citizens, which comes with a lot of extra work. If you have clients from all over the world, some people have PO boxes, some people don't. Clients in the Middle East don't even have an address often. It's very difficult for those firms to understand how to work them. So this is where an international SIPP provider, such as Novia or iPensions, come into play, because they actually sit it and say, you know what, this is a smaller market, but we want to be in this market. We're going to provide international services, SIPPs, to people with non-UK address. So that's kind of the first point to qualify. One of the other major differences which people always ask in the US is people still ask about QROPS as US residents. Now, if you head over to our QROPS page, you can see at the top as well, you'll actually find out that QROPS are no longer relevant for US residents. In 2017, there was an overseas tax charge of 25% was put into place for anybody who completes a QROPS transfer if they're not an EEA resident themselves. As such, as a USA resident, you would have a 25% tax charge on any QROPS transfer you would complete, which again brings you back down to the SIPP and why it is best for you. So what are the advantages of a SIPP compared to leaving your money inside your final salary or your defined contribution scheme in the UK? Well, a SIPP, an international SIPP, you're able to access the money from age 55 as opposed to your normal retirement age of your final salary scheme, which might be 65 or possibly 60. Your defined contribution schemes in the UK, some of the more modern ones might have access from age 55. Typically speaking, the older ones do not allow flexi access drawdown and will not allow you to access the money from 55. So what that means is you cannot flexibly draw down the money from age 55 compared to a SIPP, where say all your pension assets are worth £1 million and you consolidated them into your international SIPP. On your 50th birthday, you could say, Dominic, or advisor, I would like to take out £10,000, or I would like to take out my tax-free lump sum of 25%. You could then draw down your pot however you want after that. You could take no withdrawals for 5 years, then the following year you could take $500,000 if you really wanted to. The flexibility is completely there for you. Now, not that we're trying to encourage everyone to draw down their pension pots early, this money should stay there for your retirement. However, a lot of clients like having that flexibility of knowing, it's nice to know that I have the access to money if I really need to. It maybe allows you to be more adventurous with money in your current account. We can also help you other services in the US. We're not just a UK financial advisor, we're obviously SEC, FCA and European regulated. So we can help you from a US side with your 401k, rollovers, IRAs, and also all of your UK pension assets. One of the other big advantages of working with an international SIPP is you can actually change the denomination of the currency inside the SIPP. Say for example, you had £1 million pension pot and you said to me, Dominic, I love New York, I love Miami, San Francisco, my kids are here, they're going to school, I'm set, I'm gonna stay in America for life. You might say to me, Dominic, I'm a bit concerned about exchange rate. What happens if GBP falls off the cliff again and it becomes parity to the dollar? Heaven forbid, for all of us who like going to America. You might want to diversify away from that and saying, you know what, why don't I keep half the portfolio in USD and half the portfolio in GBP? Then when I reach my retirement, I can start drawing down the USD first, leaving money in GBP, because possibly maybe you might return to the UK. When ill health, grandchildren, stuff like that starts happening, sometimes people do gravitate back to the UK. So a little bit of flexibility for you there. Guys, I hope this is a very short, brief introduction. I would still advise to read all the information below. There's lots of information above as well. You can go to our UK pension section, our US investment section. You can have a look at our due diligence, and obviously when you're ready, get yourself booked in from the big yellow button above or in the calendar links below at a day and a time which is most suitable for yourself, and we will take you through a full advice process as an FCA and SEC regulated firm. Thank you very much, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.